welcome to Wants to Watch, powered by Football Index, where you bet on the football stock market by buying shares in the world's top players. I'm joined, as always, by Sir Alan McInally. How are we, Al?
Hello, Emma. How are you?
I'm good, cheers. How are you?
Yeah, good. Looking forward to this today. It's a tough time until we're back in lockdown, but let's see if we can bring a little bit of something to our one to watch.
Let's get stuck straight in. Aaron Cresswell is our first one to watch. Joined West Ham from Ipswich in 2014 for 3.7 mil.
2014, man. That's incredible, Emma. That he's been there for 6 years. To be fair, when he arrived, I thought he was going to be the next best, left fullback, left wing back, whatever you want to call it. He was scoring goals. He was creating lots of chances. And then I don't know, how many England caps has he got? Do you know how many caps he got?
3 caps for England.
I mean, seriously, plays for West Ham, get him for, under 4 million, has a great first, get 3 caps in 6 years. That tells you all you need to know about, he kind of was on this trajectory and then all of a sudden it kind of plateaued out for him. Probably injuries as well hasn't helped. And just, West Ham not really having a settled team, as it were, and it's been really difficult for him. But I don't know, just over the last, certainly at the end of last season and this season, he's been the Aaron Cresswell that I've wanted to watch and almost wished that I was in a team that he was in because he was putting good balls into the box. And all of a sudden he looks like a top international football player now.
Yeah, I mean, if we have a look at him so far this season, he's played 8 games, provided 3 assists and 3 clean sheets kept. And having a look as well at the most chances created in the Premier League this season, he sits 8th there, Alan. You mentioned, the England caps and stuff. We've heard on Match of the Day, we heard Gary Lineker suggest that he should be in the England squad. Having a look at those stats with him finding a bit more form, do you think that's fair?
Well, first and foremost, who watches Match of the Day? You should be watching Sky Sports, for God's sake. but Gaz makes a good point for the simple reason that he's now seeing what we saw initially for the reason that West Ham bought him for all that money, which wasn't obviously a lot of money back in 2014. He can play, I think, and you're probably going to mention David Moyes. I'll throw it in before you get there, Emma, that David has had to recognise where's his best position and how best he can utilise him, because there's no question he's a good football player. And let's face it, even with England, you can't exactly say that left fullback, left wing back, or 3 centre halves and on the left hand side is awash with brilliant football players. And it's a position that he can try and not necessarily make his own, but certainly push for a starting place. And why not should he be in the England squad under the kind of form he is at the moment, with the direction of David Moyes?
I mean, and you mentioned, of course, David Moyes there. Do you think he deserves credit for making that positional change?
Yeah, absolutely. Because after all, when you're a manager, sometimes you get lucky at times and you change formations. But I don't think there's any problem about Aaron playing in a back 4 or playing as a left-sided of 3 centre defenders, or even playing on the wide area as a wing-back, because he is naturally defended-minded, and he'll tuck back in and it can be 5 with maybe Declan Rice in front. So that's why West Ham have looked so good and had such a decent start under David Moyes, who incidentally, I'm still fed up, defending Moyesy, because he wasn't given an awful lot of time at Manchester United. In fact, he wasn't given any time after all, was he? Or money to spend, incidentally. And I think now with what he's done at West Ham, as in keeping him up, which he did easily, and having such a good start to the season so far, I think people are eventually turning around to think that David's doing a good job. And you've got to see he's done a great job with Aaron Cresswell, as we are now having him in our one to watch and thinking about him as an England international. So he's done a fantastic job, David Moyes, and I think he should be given a big pat in the back, as should Aaron Cresswell as well. After all, staying there for 6 years, having to go through some hard times and eventually coming through, hopefully, the other side. And it looks as though West Ham are a team to reckon with again this year.
Absolutely. Well, feel free, as always, to have your say in the comments below. Right then, Al, who is our next one to watch this week?
Well, I am delighted to talk about my team, Aston Villa. And I cannot believe we have horseshoed him out of London. Emiliano Martinez is now goalkeeper at Aston Villa. And Arsenal will be thinking, who in God's name sanctioned that? He's a really good goalkeeper. I think you've already seen, even defensively, Villa looking a little bit, not a little bit better, much better, for the simple reason. See, what Aston Villa haven't had for a long time is a top goalkeeper, genuinely. With the greatest respect to some of them that have been there, for me, they weren't top goalkeepers. They genuinely weren't. And I think Martinez is. And with a bit of luck, he's going to prove that we have basically stolen him for £20 million from Arsenal.
Well, Tony Evans agrees with you. He criticised Mikel Arteta's decision to lose, and he says he's one of the best goalkeepers in the country. And
I think Tony's right. Yeah, genuinely, I really do, Emma.
Well, it certainly looks that way because the fewest goals conceded in the Premier League, if we have a look at this, you can see Aston Villa 9, Manchester City 9, Leicester 9, Spurs 9 and Wolves 9. So he's certainly getting the job done. But when he actually left Arsenal to join Aston Villa, he said everyone thinks it's a step down going from Arsenal to Villa, but I actually think it's a step up in my career. Do you agree with that?
I know what he's talking about. It's a little side swipe at Arsenal, really, because he's basically saying, you didn't think I was good enough. I didn't play enough games, so I'm going to go somewhere else. There was a lot of people said to me when I left Celtic, and incidentally, Celtic are a huge football team globally. And, you know, you're playing in Europe every year. And, you know, when I went to Aston Villa weren't playing in Europe, etc. But it wasn't until I actually went to Aston Villa that I realised how big a support they carried, how big, you know, the stadium's a brilliant football stadium. The training ground is absolutely fantastic. So I think Emiliano is probably talking from that sense of where he's come to by thinking a lot of people in London think, oh, he's only going to Aston Villa, whereas that's not just the case. Aston Villa are a big football club, and he's going to prove and hopefully put them back in a position where a lot of Villa fans want him to be. He's a very, very good goalkeeper. There's absolutely no question about it. But I can understand why he said he thinks a step up in his career. But more importantly, Emma, sorry, I was only going to say more importantly, he's going to be playing football. That's a step up in your career. You don't want to be sitting on the bench watching football matches.
No, I mean, well, he had 6 loan moves, didn't he, before properly breaking into the first team due to injury.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's had to be patient, hasn't he?
I mean, 6 loan moves for a goalkeeper as talented as he is. And incidentally, he went to, and I'm going to be disparaging here, and I don't want to be, but, you know, Oxford, Rotherham. I know he went to Spain. He went to Getafe. You know, you can't exactly say that, you know, he's going to somewhere better than was at Arsenal. He just wanted to play. He just wanted to be on loan to try and get him games. And he didn't get a lot of games even when he was on loan. So I think it's a wonderful move for Aston Villa. I think it's even better for Martinez, and hopefully the marriage will be absolutely fantastic. And well done to him. And he is a definite one to watch because he's a goalkeeper that last year nobody was speaking about. And all of a sudden now we see his worth. And Aston Villa know exactly how good the money's been spent on him. Well,
Aston Villa fans, feel free to have your say in the comments below. It'll be interesting as well to hear what Arsenal fans have got to say. Right then, who is our third and final one to watch, Al?
I didn't think he would be in exalted company as one of our ones to watch. Considering, although I don't remember him when he was a young player at Bayern Munich, at least he was learning the right things at the right time when he was that age. It's Pierre-Emile Højbjerg from Spurs. Did okay at Southampton. Didn't ever think he was like a hugely influential player at Southampton. Did a good job, and then all of a sudden he goes to Spurs. I didn't see that happening. I don't know whether you did, but and you're going to tell me how much they paid for him, and I've actually no idea.
15 mil.
How much was it?
15 mil.
15 mil. Unbelievable. And all of a sudden he looks as though he's played at Spurs for the last 3 or 4 years, and his manager speaks so glowingly about him that he trusts him, and I think he's almost played every game. So Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is our last one to watch today. Yeah,
he has. I mean, if you have a look at his stats, he's played 117 Premier League games, 158 fouls, 21 yellow cards, 2 red cards. And if you have a look as well in the Premier League so far this season, the most passes, he is currently right at the top with 659.
See, that's amazing. That's that. I mean, you know, I've said before, and we've spoken about this, about players are almost being bought and decided whether they play on their stats. It's become very analytical. You know, if I have 10 sideways passes, it's better than one that goes forward to try and get someone in that's cut out. I don't like that particular stat. But it's there right in front of us. So he's on the ball a lot. Somebody's giving him the ball, and he's finding plenty of passes to his own teammates. That will, you know, his manager, Mourinho, will enjoy that. And he's got a little bit about him. You know, he's not as if he's a shrinking violet. And I think that's what Mourinho had actually spoken about before as well, about good guys and bad guys. He'd much rather have a few bad guys in the team. Well, I think, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg has certainly got that little bit about him. And it'll be interesting to see just exactly how far Spurs get this year and how influential Pierre-Emile Højbjerg will be. But I definitely think the way the season is floated so far, when we go through some of the teams and some of the players that they've got, then he was definitely one to throw in and one to watch, because he's had such a great start to the season. Yeah,
and he's played every minute of the Spurs Premier League season so far as well.
Has he?
Yeah, he has. And Mourinho, like you mentioned there, Al, we all saw the documentary. We saw him talking about how you can't be nice guys on the pitch. In a way, then, is he kind of Mourinho's ideal player?
Probably in that position, yeah, because he hasn't spent, what was it you said, 50 million on a player not to do a job for him. And to be absolutely honest with you, if Spurs are fighting at the top end of the league, then 15 million for Højbjerg has been absolutely nothing in that kind of position that he wants him to be. And yeah, I think he's looking for players to have a kind of character in the team that he probably didn't think he had before. And he will reflect on other players, and hopefully they'll get better as well. So, it could be 15 million really well spent. There's certainly been a good start, and his manager speaks in glowing terms of him. And if we all think, he knows what he's talking about, Mourinho, then we need to sit up and pay attention to them. And that's why I think, it was one of ones we could have had a couple more in today, but I just thought that, the one to watch, Højbjerg, 15 million, played every minute for Spurs so far, definitely should be in there.
Yeah, well, Spurs fans, feel free to have yours say in the comments below. That's it from us. Cheers, Al.
Well, thank you, Emma.
Thank you very much. We'll see you back here next week, and thank you for joining us for Ones to Watch, powered by Football Index, where you bet on the football stock market by buying shares in the world's top players. We'll see you soon.